The ones that I suppose influenced me most would be, I would say, the 70s, really, American 70s films, starting with Mean Streets, The Godfather, and Sidney Lumet films like Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon, films like that. It was my mum really sort of had a real interest in that period, that decade, that golden era in American film. My mum loved, John Cazale. She always sort of spoke so highly of him. And I mean, if you look at his filmography, I mean, it's I don't think he put a foot wrong. Even in Dog Day Afternoon and in The Godfather, these sort of unappealing characters and quite sort of cowardly characters and sickly characters, he really sort of, I don't know, was very good at releasing any ego and really sort of bringing these characters to a very sort of real space without making them, sort of cliches or judging them, as it were. Well, I suppose growing up in Ireland, sort of primarily in the sort of south, down in sort of County Kerry, we didn't really get BBC One or any of the sort of UK channels. For some reason, we always got all the American programs that were happening here in terms of, the series that were running, like Magnum P.I., Chips, Knight Rider. So I kind of guess I grew up with more of American sort of television than English television. I actually kind of know all the theme songs to them as well, which is kind of funny. It's kind of like an obsession. And then it goes. That's another section of the song. It comes later. I didn't want to go through the whole sort of guitar bit. It goes on for quite a while. I wanted to be Tom Selleck. Never could grow the mustache, unfortunately. I love Tom Selleck. I think he did such a great job on Magnum P.I. I don't think many men can carry off wearing those short shorts like that. First movie that I auditioned for, I think it was Pearl Harbor. I was going up for Ben Affleck's role, so he kind of, I think, just pipped me at the time. I had 2 auditions, and one of them was Pearl Harbor, and the other one was Band of Brothers, and I managed to bag Band of Brothers. I believe it was a place called Longmore, and we were out there, and there was like real army people training out there, which was always kept us sort of in check. After a couple of days, actors think they're soldiers, and then you see the real thing, 100 yards away, and everybody becomes an actor again very quickly. When Hunger sort of came about, and I thought, okay, well, this is kind of very sort of heavy material, in terms of people are smearing excrement on the walls and starving themselves to death and for an hour and a half. I met with the doctor and a nutritionalist to begin with on sort of when we were setting off on the journey and how I was to go about in losing the weight. But I knew that I wanted to go somewhere where the sun was shining. It was great. I was down on Venice Beach, and it was the perfect place to fast. I would walk up the beach every day, power walking. I was just one of many, and I never realized how much food is actually on television. So I stopped watching adverts because the hamburgers here are the best, really. So, I didn't like seeing mouth-watering Carl's Jr.'s or, In-N-Out burgers every sort of 15 minutes. I didn't notice things after a while. In the first sort of 3-4 weeks, you notice areas where you're losing weight. But then after a while, you don't see it anymore, and then you kind of go a little bit crazy because I was really trying to stay strictly to the calorie count. So tins of sardines were always good because it had the total calorie count, including the mustard sauce that it would come in, or the olive oil or whatever. You could have it with sauce or without. I don't know, sound effects, I always sort of have a thing about doing it. It's almost like an OCD thing, even to those things where you would press the walk sign, I've just rented a Harley Davidson for the first time. I like this birds. I think that's a robin redbreast. Formula One I followed. Okay, so it's like no. Oh yeah.